black sky.
Greetings. My name is Dmytro Antoniuk. I am part of Black Sky team, and I live in Kiev, and I record this digest as usual from Kiev, Ukraine. And this is our weekly digest of our materials. This time we have 5 of them. And we will begin with the article by Vasyl Ilnytskyi, which is about Hungary and which is about Ukrainian-Hungarian relationships and what our countries have to do now and in the nearest future to improve it. It is called Ukraine-Hungary, the door to dialogue is open. This material analyzes the possible future of Ukrainian-Hungarian relations after the political change in Hungary and the election of Peter Magyar as prime minister. After many years of Viktor Orban's rule and tense relations with Kyiv, experts believe that the new Hungarian government could open the way for a more constructive dialogue between the two countries. At the same time, this text stresses that Hungary will still defend its own national interests, absolutely, and especially concerning the Hungarian minority in Zakarpattia. In the far west of Ukraine. This article includes opinions from several Ukrainian experts who believe that Ukraine should use this moment to strengthen cooperation with Hungary through practical projects in areas such as infrastructure, energy, cybersecurity, education, trade, and environmental protection, because we share with Hungary and with neighboring countries, for instance, Carpathian Mountains. This the article also stresses the importance of careful diplomacy and cross-border cooperation, which can help reduce political tensions and build long-term trust between the two countries. In the end, Vasyl suggests that the new Hungarian government may become a chance for a reset in bilateral relations. However, real progress will depend on practical actions, political decisions, and both countries' willingness to replace old stereotypes and political conflicts with cooperation and shared interests. The next one, we will a little bit change our geography, and we will move to former Soviet Union Republic, which is called Armenia. And this piece is by Yulia Derdyuk, and it is called Irreversible Loss of Armenia. Can Yerevan turn its back on the Kremlin? In the article, Yulia discusses Armenia's growing distance from Russia and its closer cooperation with Europe. She explains that relations with Moscow became worse after Russia failed to support Armenia during the Second Nagorno-Karabakh War, which pushed Yerevan to search for new partners and security guarantees. Yulia describes Armenia's recent political changes, including the freezing of its participation in the CSTO alliance from the former. Some of the former Soviet countries have this military alliance in the first place, and the beginning of the country's EU integration process. Special attention is given to the European Political Community Summit in Yerevan, attended by 48 leaders recently, including Volodymyr Zelensky, which showed Armenia's stronger ties with Europe and caused criticism from Russia. This piece also highlights that Armenia is trying to balance its foreign policy, although Russia still has economic and energy influence over the country. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has made it clear that Armenia is no longer fully dependent on Moscow and wants greater independence in international relations. And he made it, which is very surprising, in Moscow, in Kremlin, in front of Putin. The next material, which is also by Yulia Derdyuk, it is called Special Tension and Coup d'etat, what Russian social media accounts are predicting for Ukrainians. This article explains how Russian propaganda is trying to create fear, distrust, and social tension inside Ukraine through Telegram channels and social media. The author describes how pro-Russian politicians and online propagandists spread messages about the possible coup d'etat, problems with mobilization, and conflicts between citizens and the authorities. The main goal of these campaigns is to weaken trust in Ukrainian institutions and divide society during the war. A large part of this material focuses on the topic of mobilization, which Russian propaganda actively uses to manipulate emotions in the first place. The text explains that Telegram channels connected to Russian influence networks regularly publish negative stories, fake videos, and emotional content about the work of the TCC and mobilization in Ukraine. The TCC meaning the draft to Ukrainian army. Many posts use aggressive language and AI-generated images to create panic, anger, and hopelessness among readers. Even if propaganda does not completely change public opinion, it still creates confusion, fatigue, and social conflict. This article ends by reminding readers to think critically, check information carefully, and avoid spreading manipulative content online. The next one is by Svitlana Mialyk. It is called Tuapse Under Attack, how Ukraine is striking at the heart of Russia's oil industry. This piece focuses on Ukraine's systematic strikes on Russian oil infrastructure, especially in Tuapse, a key Black Sea hub for oil refining and exports. According to political analyst Andriy Mialyk, these attacks are part of what he calls a sanctions kinetic front, where military strikes function like economic sanctions by damaging Russia's energy sector and reducing its export income. This expert says the strikes do not immediately collapse Russia's war machine, but they create a long-term cumulative effect. Damaged refineries take time and expensive important parts to be repaired, especially under sanctions. As a result, Russia's oil revenues, the main source of funding for the war, are gradually reduced. This interview, because it's actually an interview with this Ukrainian expert Andriy Mialyk, also highlights that these attacks challenge Russia's image of control and strength. Ukrainian drone strikes show that even strategic facilities are vulnerable, which undermines Russian propaganda and creates internal pressure as citizens see a gap between official narratives and reality. And the last one for today is done by our very productive member of our team by Arthur Jacques. And it is dedicated to these Russian missiles, namely Sarmat missile, and it is called RS-28 Sarmat, the seventh coming of Satan and the Kremlin's nuclear fanaticism. This material discusses Russia's RS-27 Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile, the newest one. Russia says it successfully tested it again in May 2026 and plans to put it into service by the end of the current year. According to Arthur, the Sarmat project has been repeatedly delayed by technical problems and failed tests, despite frequent official claims of progress. While Russia presents the missile as a major technological breakthrough, the article notes that its development history includes numerous setbacks, raising doubts about its actual readiness for deployment. The analysis and also emphasizes that the Sarmat is less about battlefield use and more about strategic pressure, particularly toward the United States, and also, of course, EU countries. The Kremlin uses the missile to project an image of nuclear superiority and to reinforce its narrative of being able to overcome missile defense systems and maintain global parity with the West. So this was all for today's weekly digest of our materials, the newest ones. Please stay tuned, read our articles, watch some of our interviews on our YouTube channel on blackskyinfo.info. And I am part of this team, of Black Sky team. My name is Dmytro Antoniuk, and I am from Kyiv, Ukraine. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.